It's almost impossible to imagine now, but there was actually a time where it wasn't cool to like John Mayer. People who are in their 30s and 40s now, they'll probably remember when John Mayer came up in the early 2000s. That was a time when like nu metal was the main genre of the day. In 2002, I was about 10 years old at that time, and I vividly remember the Korn, Limp Bizkit, Tool, and Deftones era, because I have a few siblings who are a few years older than me, and they both loved all that heavier music. So if you fast forward a few years later, that was like the Continuum era, right? Like 2007. That was the time when like shopping mall screamo was more of a thing. That stuff was really popular around that time, and it was with my friends, and it was with me too. For that reason, I was never really exposed to his music in any kind of serious way, other than like pop music radio at the time. Because of Your Body is a Wonderland and Waiting on the World to Change, I always felt like John Mayer's music was for a certain kind of girl, you know, like the pumpkin spice latte, Taylor Swift kind of girl. In retrospect, he was doing something completely different at the time, and it made him somewhat of an anomaly. 20 years later, I would say this definitely benefited him. I can say all this now as an adult, but for a 12-year-old music know-it-all kid that was into hard rock and metal, Mayer wasn't even worth considering to me at the time. I held bro in contempt. So rather than be a hater and talk shit, I decided I would give a lot of his music a chance. I wanted to learn from his playing style and his songwriting abilities to see if I could apply the same ideas and match it. So a big part of getting John Mayer's sound is the Fender Stratocaster. More specifically, single coil pickups. For me, this is completely out of my element in so many different ways, because other than learning the blues and minor pentatonic scale for old Metallica solos, I really have very little experience with the blues, and more specifically, the Fender Strat. I've always been a humbucker and Les Paul kind of guy. Regardless, I'm determined to make this work. So what I did is I decided to mix it up a little bit by listening to some of his old stuff and some of his new stuff. For instance, I listened to Continuum, Heavier Things, Sob Rock, and The Search for Everything. I settled on trying to combine the elements of two songs that I liked the most, Vultures and Rosie. One of the things that really stuck out to me about the song Vultures after I learned it is just the simplicity of the main riff. And frankly, the simplicity of it is part of its genius because it allows for the other instruments in the mix to breathe. Now, Rosie, on the other hand, that's a song that I appreciate more for its neo-soul-esque vibe, the lyrics, and the arrangement. So I want to figure out how do we blend the elements of these songs in a way that's going to sound cool. And so I figured we would copy like the arrangement of Rosie primarily. We're gonna make the drums pretty simple and groovy too. Now we gotta mix up the velocity on this, otherwise it won't groove properly. We're gonna switch up the drums to the Sunset and the Motown kit. We're also going to get some much needed compression on here. It's dying for compression. Some basic compression is going to be good enough. We got to keep it moving. Now that we've established a more concrete drum groove, we need to redo the guitars just to get the timing a little bit better. By the way, if you want to learn the triads, which I believe is the easiest and most efficient way to instantly improve your guitar playing, you can grab my cheat sheet at the link travelingguitarist.com/fretboard cheat sheet. It's a list of all the triads and their inversions on every part of the guitar neck. Now we need a boom boom tss. You can start to hear the bass now, can't you? So obviously we need to clean that up with some reverb and some automation as well. Now to build some intensity, we just have to change the velocity a bit and also change some parts of this kit. I feel like this part desperately needs some electric piano on it with some of that vibrato sound. I don't know what it's called. We're just gonna copy and paste it into the light shade organ. By the way, can you imagine how hard it was to do all this in the past? You actually had to record every instrument rather than just copying and pasting it to a software instrument track. Now we're gonna add in some horns. They're just gonna be GarageBand horns, but I think they'll be good enough for now. And now we need to drop the tension back down so there's space for some nice vocals. Man, that part's dying to be higher. now we need a nice guitar lead that supports the song rather than pretending to be the star of the show. But ultimately, you know, I'm pretty happy with how my song turned out. I'm really proud of like how it kind of came together. I feel like it's kind of captured some of his, you know, arrangement at least, and some of the guitar playing ideas as well. But ultimately, I think, you know, there's so much to learn from deconstructing a song of that caliber, because not only do you learn like the importance of rhythm and timing and like when to give space for other instruments, and also like the ability to use triads and create your riffs in such a way where it leaves space for other instruments to shine. Not only do you learn that, but you like develop a really good understanding of like tension. So like push and pull, you know, you build tension in one section, then you drop the tension down in the next section. And I feel like that's very useful, a really useful songwriting tactic that, you know, is in some of the best songs. And ultimately, I think that's really why John Mayer has lasted as long as he has, because it's not just the great playing and like the great playing with the singing, but it's also the songs, you know, like this, the strength of his songs is the reason why he's more relevant now than he was 20 years ago. And you know, that's another interesting thing that I wanted to bring up, which is that something I alluded to earlier, which is that it seems like as the time has passed, like he went from being an artist that primarily women were fans of to now women and men like him, because like men have kind of finally seen, or guitar players rather, have finally seen that like he's a great player, right? So like now he has this new generation of people who really like him for the guitar playing, you know? So it's kind of like he has the best of both worlds. Like he has like, you know, women like his stuff for different reasons, and then men like it for, you know, the guitar playing and stuff. So I think that's really cool that he's managed to establish himself in that lane. And he's really like a once in a generation talent for that reason, I feel. That reason among others. It's that, you know, he's managed to like foster this very clear identity as an artist that separates him from all of the other people of, you know, especially during the early 2000s with the new metal scene and all that stuff. Like he's just kind of stuck the course, you know what I mean? Like he stayed true to like his style and what he likes. And you know, it's really impressive. And I think that for that reason, we'll probably see more of him over the next 10 to 20 years. Like I think he's still got some, you know, some more stuff in him. And you know, yeah, I'm a pretty big fan now, I would say. I've learned a few of his songs, which are in my shorts. And you know, I'll probably even try and learn more. I was thinking about even doing Continuum in its entirety, because that's such a fantastic album. But yeah, you know, I think I'll wrap it up by saying that if you want to learn how to play guitar and you want to learn how to make great songs and so on and so forth, I think you could do no better than to learn one of these songs, or to deconstruct it and try to build your own based on his, because you're going to learn so much in the process.